Hello, what's happening? How's everybody doing today? Happy Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Got my green on. Got my Tableau green shirt. It's the only green data shirt I had. But happy to see everyone. Thanks for joining. Excuse me. Thanks for joining. This is Workout Wednesday, week 11 live stream, and we are live, and we're gonna have a good time today. So, without any further ado, thanks for joining. Let's go ahead and jump right into our challenge for the week. So, we are doing week 11. Can you compare state sales? So, this is a challenge from Donna, and we are going to be building a hex map, and we're going to be selecting a state on the map, and then we're going to be able to show its total sales compared to the average sales of all of the other states. So we'll be able to see, you can see here that for category, we'll have, you can see here Nebraska. Here, we'll just go to the live. We'll just go to the actual dashboard here. So this is Donna's here. So you can see here on default, nothing loads up. I live in Missouri, so let's select Missouri. We get a blue hex color for Missouri. All of the others all of the other colors stay the same, so that'll be something to think about there. Then we have Missouri sales compared to the other states and the total average of those states. So, and then we have furniture, office supplies, technology, and then we can see all of the other. We can see that. So, what do you say we go ahead and then, as you can see, we'll click another state. It will change. What happens if I click? Okay, so if I click on anywhere outside, so if I click again, right? If I click again, so if I click anywhere in here, anywhere in the white space, nothing happens. It's going to stay that way. The only way that I get it to leave is I have to click that state again in order for everything to go away. Okay? So, a couple things to think about, a couple things to keep in mind as we go through this. So, let's dive in. First thing we need to do is we need to create our tile map. Now, one of the things that I've done is way back when, I can't remember how long I've had this, but I actually just created a tile maps Tableau saved data source, and essentially what it is it's just it is that. So we're gonna go in here. We're gonna go edit data source. We need to find it. Let's see, Tableau repository, data sources. It says, where are you? And then now we'll just search for tile map. There it is. Oh, I need the actual workbook. Interesting. Okay. Well, I don't know where that is. Maybe that's not going to work. Okay, well, no. Let's see here, tile map. If this doesn't work, I've got another solution that we can go through. Okay, well, interesting. That's not going to work. So let's close this. Let's go back, and I know that Donna provided a file. Excuse me. I believe she did. Hex map. What do we need to do it? Yep, there we go. Hex map plot. There we go. All right, and then we just use Superstore. So we'll connect to data. It is a text file, and we've got downloads. It is not a CSV, it's an Excel file. Very good. Downloads. There's that. Let's see what we get here. We get row, column, state, abbreviation. Very good. Let's add a connection into this, and that is going to be our Microsoft, again, it's a Microsoft Excel file, and we'll go to our Tableau repository, we'll go into our data sources, we'll go to our most recent data source, and we'll select the Superstore there. Now, how are we going to connect all these, right? How are we going to connect them? Are we going to join them? Are we going to relate them? How are we going to do this? Well, let's go ahead and drag orders out here. And how are we going to relate them? Well, we're going to relate them on state and state. Okay. Let's click on, let's go ahead and make this an extract. Go to sheet 1. We'll put it in the downloads because I'll never use this file again. And there's no point in gumming up my cloud file, my cloud drive. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll drag column, and those both need to be dimensions. Columns to column, rows to row. You can see how things are looking, right? You can see it. We're going to change our mark type to a shape. We're going to go into our shapes. And I'm going to keep it with circles because I like circles. So let's do let's change our shape. It can be it can be anything you want, really. But actually I'm going to do closed circles, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make these continuous. And then as you can see here, things get weird. So let's go ahead and reverse the axis because I made it that. Let's go ahead and remove show header. Let's go ahead and bump up the size so that things are gonna look nice. There we go. Things are looking good. Now what do we need to do? We need to put on abbreviation. Let's do, yep, we'll do abbreviation on label, and we'll bump the, nope, don't need that. We need this centered and centered. There we go. Now we need sales on color. You can see how this is starting to go, right? Let's do, what is this? Filter the data, filter out the nulls. What's the null? I wonder. It's all right. Doesn't matter. Okay, so that's that. That looks good. Now, what are we going to do now? So if we were to, so you can see here, we're going to change our color palette to a gray color palette. Click apply. There we go. And now what we need to do is, I believe, let's think about this. So I'm going to do this with sets. So I'll go to my state. I will create a set. It will be empty for now, but actually I'm going to select Missouri. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to, let's go ahead and duplicate this. Make it edit axis reversed. There we go. Things look weird right now. I'm okay with weird. Weird is fine. I just need to make sure that I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put my set on color. And now what I need to do is I'm going to use, I know that there is so now I can just edit my colors here, right? And in is going to be this kind of teal Does she specify exactly what color? I don't think she does. Oh, yep. Selected state color is this hex code. Excellente. All right, so we'll double click there. Go to our hex code. Paste. Click OK. I thought it was close to that. All right, click apply. Now you can see we have that down there, but now I need to figure out what the out is. Now, you can see here if we go back and look at this, right? So now it's just there, right? If I click on it, right, then it shows up and that's the only one. And I still want that color to do that. So I know I saw I think I've seen blog posts by the Flurlage twins. I think it was Kevin who actually figured out how to make a transparent color, like as a transparent background. Transport shapes and images. Oh, look at that. Transparent hex code. That's what I want. Transparent hex code. Check this out. So, there is a transparent hex code that we can use, which I think is pretty awesome. So, it is... So the hex code for transparent white, not that the color matters since it's fully transparent, is 2 zeros, followed by the white's hex code of 6 Fs. All right, so let's try it. Interesting. So it says here you can't do it in the... So let's just try it. Let's see if it works. It may not. That's okay. Yeah, it doesn't because it's too long. Okay. But he says that we need to create a custom palette. All right, so let's do that. So what we need to do real quick is we need to save this. I'll put it on my desktop for now, and I'll call this Wow 2023 week 11, and I'll click save. Okay, and now I can close this, and I'll go ahead and just quit Tableau because I think that makes the most sense. All right, so now we'll go into our Finder, go to our Tableau repository, go to our preferences, open it in a text editor, go here, and color palette, transparent white, and all we have to do is just go under preferences and just paste that in there, just like that. All right, make sure all that looks good. Let's just preferences, there we go. All right, cool. All right, so we'll go ahead and save that, close that, open up Tableau again. Tableau 23.1. And new. now we'll come over here. We'll go to our start, and we'll just open this back up. Okay, so now when I go here and I go select here, and I do this, now I select out. Now my color palette, I should find a transparent somewhere. Is it going to be at the bottom? Nope. Transparent. I put it at the top, so it might be at the top. I have a lot of color palettes, as you can see here. There it is. Transparent white. Look at that. So it looks, it appears black, but then whenever you click on it over here and I click apply, it actually turns white. So we're going to click apply. If I did this right, all of these gray circles should turn not gray. They should turn transparent. Bingo. Just like that. You can see they're still there, right? So now what we can do is we can come over here, click on this, dual axis, synchronize axis. There it is. Now let's go ahead and create our set action so that we can confirm that this is working on this workbook. We'll do a change set values on sheet 1. We'll do it for the data source on sheet 1. The target set is state. When I click on it, I want to assign values to the set. Remember, when you're doing set actions, there's 3 options: assign, add, and remove. Right? So what does that mean? Well, it means that we have assign means that is the set. End. Full stop. Add means you can continue adding to the set. Remove means remove from the set. Clearing the selection will keep set values or remove all values from set. Right? What do we want? What do we want to happen when we clear the set? We want to remove all from the set because we want everything to go transparent, right? And we'll run it on select. And the way that this is, and also when we select assign values to the set, that's going to allow us to only select one state at a time, right? So if we had add values to the set selected, we could select multiple states, and all of those would continually be added to that set. But that's not what we want. Okay. The other thing we could have done is we could select single select only. But we don't do. So we'll say that change state. We'll call that our name. Click OK. Now, hopefully, if we've done this right, it's going to work. Oh, okay. What is happening? Is it because... No. Oh, because I don't have state on here. Right? So if I drag there... No? Okay. What if I drag state here? No? What's happening? Actions. Change state. Oh, because I didn't select it. That's why. Okay. Click that. Click that. Now when I select this. Okay. There we go. Right? Okay. So when I do that, that's working. Right? Now we need to put state. Let's put an abbreviation up on label again. There we go. Right? So it's working. And again, I select everything. We can go. I think we can go ahead and remove that because now it should be working. See, nope. So I do need state on there. I do need state on detail. There we go. There it is. Okay. All right. So we're working. We're good. We're back in business. Okay. But what we need to do is we need to not have this. Let's go ahead and fix this highlight. That again is another worksheet action. And that's going to be a highlight action on select. Oh, cancel. We'll call this highlight. Add that to detail. Now we'll go up to worksheet actions. We'll go to change. We'll do a highlight on select on sheet 1 to sheet 1. Selected fields, only the highlight field. Click OK. Click OK. Hopefully, if this works, I click on Missouri, it turns blue. None of the others are. There we go. Just like that. Look at that. So now whenever I select this, everything changes, everything's highlighted, everything's good, right? And then whenever I select that again, right? Whenever I select that state again, it goes away, right? Cool. Cool. All right. Well, that's working. That's working pretty great, I feel like. So what are we going to do now? All right. Let's go ahead and change the size of these circles down just to 2. Because I don't think it's... all right. So let's go ahead and clear some of this up. Show header. We don't want to show header. Let's go ahead and clean up this. We're going to get rid of all of our lines, all of our columns, all of our grid lines, all of our 0 lines. Does that get rid of everything? That looks good. All right, let's keep Missouri selected. Now, so this is our map. Let's create our line chart. So let's see what we're doing here. We've got... We select Missouri. We've got, is this monthly? It is monthly. Okay. So monthly. Order date. Control. Click and drag. We get our little drop field dialog box. We want continuous month. We are going to do, not sales. We need a calculated field based on our set. So what we're going to do is we're going to say... First thing we need to do is let's create our dimension, which is going to be the selected state. Oop. And that's going to be what? Excuse me. It's going to be if set. Remember, sets used in calculated fields are Boolean. So you use this just like a Boolean field. So I don't need to put equals false or anything like that. Just putting that in there is basically going to evaluate the set when true. So when state set is true, then I'm going to return the sales. Otherwise, I'm going to do fixed I'm going to do fixed on what? Fixed for each state, some sales, close. But actually what I need to do is I need to wrap all of that in an average, which is going to really mess things up because now I have an aggregate field. And let's see, 2 average, open regular, open curly, open regular, so close regular, close that, there's the if. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to aggregate all of the other things in there. So sum of sales whenever the state set is true. And I also need to aggregate my set. Now again, remember, it's a Boolean field, so it's either true or false. So what we can do is we can just wrap that in a max, because the max alphabetic of true or false is true. And as you can see, that fixed everything. Let's click OK, click Apply. Selected state, selected sales, that's what I'll call this. Selected sales. I told you I was going to do the dimension, but then I ended up writing the measure. That's okay. Click that, click over there. Things look really, really strange. That's okay. Let's just drag our set onto color. And we can't do that because we have a transparent color. Okay, that's fine. Let's just drag that off. And let's do calculated field. Let's just call it state set. It's just going to return true or false state set, right? And then let's do this sales. Let's do state set dimension. State set. I'll just call it state set because that works. I'm just making sure that it works. There we go. Now, is this right? Let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so I don't know. So if we look at, so for the very first, okay, that's why. So other thing I need to figure out is I forgot to do something in here because I fixed it on the state. So for the state across all of the data, I need to also, so what I could do here, I could add this. I could just add my date trunk dimension of month. Could. But I believe I could also just do include. Include state, right? So at the level of granularity of the view, which is month and state set, but I need to include at the state level. Let's see what happens if I do that. There. So now if we go back and we look at it, so look at this. So you see how this worked? See how this worked out here, right? So this view right here is exactly this way. So a lot of times I think I tweeted about this a while back, but fixed level of details are overused. Because they're easy to understand. Totally get that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use I'm not saying that we should completely abandon fixed level of detail statements, but what I am saying is try fixed or try include, right? Like right now, it's going to, like, this was fixed at state level, but what I actually needed it was at the state and truncated month, right? Because for each month and state, sum the sales and then take the overall average at the level of granularity, right, of the view. And again, also know that fixed level of detail does occur higher up in the level of in the order of operations. However, it also puts a strain on your database, right, or the extract or hyper, right? Like fixed level of details are they're a heavier. They require more tech, right? So include happens lower, and it doesn't need it. So again, we got the exact same answer using level of detail or using include as we could have used with fixed. This is a little bit more. Obviously, this calculation is a little bit cleaner, right? There's not as many characters in it, and it's a little bit easier to understand once you get your head wrapped around what an include actually does. So there you go. So now that's working, right? And you can, and we've verified that that's working based on what this looks like, right? So now what we'll do is, so yeah, if that made sense to you, if you like that, go ahead and drop a like or a comment on my on the chat right now. That'd be super helpful. Again, all of the interactivity on this channel really helps grow the channel and help it out. So please do that. So includes and fixed. I could do a whole video on that. If that's something you want to see, drop a comment and maybe I'll see what I can do about getting one set up for that. So anyway, we're good to go now. And yeah, I think we're good. All right, so let's go. What are we doing now? Let's change our colors here. So again, we're going to use for true, we're going to use that teal color, which is right here. Paste. I'm going to go ahead and drag it into my saved palettes here so I don't ever have to worry about it again. This gray color is just going to be, I don't need this. I'll just do gray. I'll just click a gray color. Let's see, does that work? Looks like this gray color is a little bit lighter. So let's go into our gray color palette and let's select a really light gray. Yep. Okay. And then as you can see here, don't know how well you can see it, but the gray is in front of the blue. And that's not what we want. We want it this way. So we're just going to flip the Z. We're just going to flip the Z order. And now we have that. Okay. Let's bump up the thickness of these lines just a hair. There we go. That's starting to look pretty good. Okay, what else? What else is going on? So this is our trend. Okay. And now what we need to do is we need to do it at the segment level. So let's drag segment, and let's drag, the next thing we need is the set dimension, set label, I'll call it a set label. So we're going to do an if our state set, set. What are we going to do? What are we going to return if the selected set is true? We're going to return the state name. Otherwise, a free text of other states, open paren average, right? I think, yeah, other states. Is that what she calls it? Yep, other states average. Very good. And she capitalizes it. Very good. All right, just like that. Click there. Click there. Move that over here. Here is where I meant. And now we're just going to do that same selected sales, right? We just need that exact same thing. Now again, why does this work? Right? Again, because again, think about what we just did. This is, again, another use case and why the include statement is so much more powerful. Because what we're doing, right, is I wrote one calculation here, include state. So what this is doing is when you do an include statement, what you're saying is aggregate everything at the level of detail of the view and include this other dimension that's not in the view. So again, if we wanted to have this remember when we talked about if I wanted to have this be a fixed level of detail calculation, I would have had to have added fixed state, comma, truncated order date to the criteria for the fixed level of detail. Guess what? That calculation would not have worked in this because we're not taking into account the segment, right? So I would have had to create another calculation that would have been fixed for state and fixed at state and segment. Some sales take the overall average. But because I wrote an include statement that just says include everything on the view, aggregate at the level of detail of the view, but also include state, now I can use that in anything, in any other thing that I want, and it's gonna do that, right? So this is another reason why it's really helpful to learn how to properly use your include level of detail calculations. So again, really powerful, really, really cool. All right, so what's next? We have, let's go ahead and make this entire view. We can take our same state set, drop it on color, and we have our colors there, right? And now we'll go ahead and drop our size of the bars a little bit. And yeah, that looks good. I like it. Add our labels. And now what we need to do is we need to do selected state, sales, or selected sales, sales. Let's go ahead and change our default number format for that to be currency, no decimal places, and have our dollar sign there. And so that's going to do that everywhere. Okay. So, and this we'll call our segment. Okay. All right. Now let's throw it on a dashboard and hope everything works. So what we're going to do, always throw a vertical container out there. Go into our vertical container. Go to our vertical container, add 20 pixels of padding. Go back, add a blank container in to that. And now we can start building out what we want. So the first thing is we need a text, is we need a title, and that's going to be Wow 2023, week 11. Can you compare state sales? Pipe part 1, which means she's going to have another part to this. So this is only going to get more confusing. Not confusing. It's going to get more challenging. There are other challenges coming in this same thing, with this same kind of setup. So I'm excited to see where that goes. All right, so let's go. Let's drop a bold on there. Yeah, that looks good. All right, and then, oh, that's not dark enough at all. Okay, and now we'll go here, drop it over here, bring this down to 15. We'll add our little, come on, there it is, triangle. There it is. Whoop. Is that what I wanted? I don't think so. Let's try it. Let's try this one. There it is. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll bump this up. I don't know. 24. I mean, that's really big. Or that. All right. Whatever. All right. And then we'll drop this down to 15. And click on a state to see. Oh, yeah. Non-bold. Click. click on a state to see how sales compare to the, alright, you know what average sales of all other states. Alright, I'm just going to do that. We'll call it good for now, because what we really need to do is show you the interactivity. Okay, so now you can see these are horizontal. So I'm going to drop a horizontal in there. I can move this blank now into there. I will take my map and I will put it right there, and then I'll drop a vertical on this side. I will now take my blank. I can throw it away. I can remove that for now. I can take my trend chart, put it in there, take my segment chart, put it in there, and now I can do that. And now what we'll do is 1,000 by 600. 600. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. And remember that, let's see, I'm just trying to gauge this here. I'm just trying to figure out what looks good. Okay, let's remove our header here. And again, I knew the sizing was going to be off, so now let's go back. Let's go to all. Let's drop our size to a little bit smaller and see what that looks like. There we go. Okay, so check this out. So as you can see here, we've got our states, we've got our lines, we've got this, right? But what's happening here? I don't want this. I don't want this at all. I want this to be gone, right? New feature. Go to layout, control visibility, using. All right, so I need to go here and do something. What am I going to do? I need to figure out a way that I can control this container's visibility based on something that I select over here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's create a state, and it needs to be a Boolean. And let's see. Let's think about this. How's this going to work? Create a parameter. It's going to be a Boolean. True is selected, clear, container, the default is false. I don't know if that means anything. Let's go ahead and add a calculated field. Call it true. I'm kind of winging this part, so let's just bear with me here. Calculated field. Put it on detail. Dashboard action. Change parameter on the map. Target parameters container. Calculation 1. None. Set the value to false when I clear the selection. Okay. All right. I can't believe that worked. Okay, so now let's just make sure that this works. So click. All right. Okay, so let's show you how that works. So I don't even think I need that calculated field now. Right? Delete. Yes. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, cool. I wonder why though. All right, let's. Oh, what happened? Oh, because I lost this parameter container. What? Okay. Well, I guess I did need all that. So let's go back. There we go. Okay. So, but now what we need to do, I wonder if I can just, instead of, can I just do that? No. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with this. Okay. I know it's not the way that Donna built it, but I think I like this better. Okay, never mind. Let's talk about it, and then we can have a debate. And Tim, I will get to your question about fixed and include later, in just a second. I promise. Okay, so let's talk about how this works. So one, we have dynamic zone visibility using a value. That's how we're able to do this. So whenever I select this, that's when I get all my stuff. Right? Now, the reason that this works is because of dynamic zone visibility. It is not a filter action. I can't use a filter action, right? Because if I used a filter action, it would potentially mess up the transparent portion of the map in order to do that, because I'd be filtering out all of my other things, right? And that's not what I want. So I'm using dynamic zone visibility to control showing both of these charts, both of these sheets, which are in this larger container, right? So let's talk about how we do that. That's why. Okay. So the first thing it is, I created a parameter. I called it container just so I know what it means, right? Just so I know. It's a Boolean. Its current value is true. The current value is true because I have a selected field. That's fine. Or I have a selected state. But I chose it as false first because I wanted it to go away. So either way. All right. Cancel. Okay. Then I created a calculated field, which is just called true, right? And container selector. Make it make sense, right? Container selector. I put that on detail for everything. So now that field is there. that field is in there. You can even see it in the tooltips, right? You can see it there. Now on my dashboard, I created a dashboard action. And it's a parameter action. And it's the container action. On the map, whenever I select the map, I want to target that container parameter and I want to fill it. I want to replace the value of the container parameter with my container selected field, which is always true. No aggregation. When I clear the selection, I want it to go false. Right? I want it to default back to false. Right? That's what this action is doing. That's a pretty simple parameter action. And then what I do with that, now that I have that action controlled, now I go and I select the container, not the worksheet, the container, which is just mind-blowing that we can do this now in Tableau. So I'm really excited to be able to show that to you in a real use case. And so this entire container is being controlled by my container parameter. When it's true, it shows. When it's false, it disappears. Right? Now, whenever I clear my selection, it goes away. Right? But does it go away? If we go down here to our item hierarchy, you can see here we have the vertical container, which contains the trend, and it's gone. It is, you can't even select it, right? Like when I go here, I get the little blue outline, right? But when I go to vertical container, which is my hidden one right now, it's gone. You can't even select it, which is really interesting, right? So anyway, select container. Yeah, okay, the higher container. Okay. All right, so now whenever I select a state, so let's, again, just why is this working? Why did we choose to do it with dynamic zone visibility and not the other, and not a filter action or something like that? I'll show you why. Because the way that it's currently set up, if I uncheck this, and now I clear my selection, my map, I just pointed to my screen like you could be out, like you were being able to, like I pointed it with my finger. You can see the map goes away, right? But now I have my other ones because of the way that I set it up. Remember how we set up those calculations to say if my selected state is true, then this, else that, right? Well, nothing is selected in my set right now, right? Nothing is selected, so all of these other things are being aggregated together, which makes sense, right? That's what we want. That's the way that we wanted this thing to work. But because I didn't put like else null or anything like that, these two things continue to show up, and I don't want that. But I don't want to filter out the data, because then that would filter out the data on my map too. So we can't have that happening. So that's how. Now, this again, I'll show you what's happening. In this container contains two sheets. Control zone visibility with my parameter of container. It goes away. Which means, and also with dynamic zone visibility, there is no limit to the number and types of containers that you can remove based on that parameter selection. So yes, if you wanted to, here's just a regular old text box. Control with zone visibility, parameters, container. I have nothing selected. I just have a state map. I just have a circle map. I select a state, poof, everything shows up, right? Dynamic zone visibility is going to completely change the way that we do dashboards once we kind of play with it a little bit more, right? So imagine for a moment, if you will, an entire switchboard up here, like that look like buttons, right? And say you have, sales and state and I don't know, whatever else you're trying to analyze within a workbook, right? Think of how you have workbooks right now that have multiple dashboards in them with multiple tabs at the top. Potentially, if you really wanted to, you could condense all multiple tabs. I don't know why you would do this, but the possibility is there that you could condense multiple tabs of a workbook, and you could build it all in a single dashboard and then control the containers contained within based on a single parameter value. Pretty incredible. Pretty incredible stuff. So, anyway, we are right at the top of the hour. Want to be sensitive of your time. I think we've satisfied everything except for let's bring this back and let's turn that off so that it stays. But there you go. But that's how you do it. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. So, that's how you do it. It's pretty fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was enjoyable. Hope you learned a lot. And as always, I'll be here next week. I won't be here, actually. I'm going on spring break. Got to take a break. Getting away from the family. Or getting away with the family. Gonna go to South Dakota, Mount Rushmore, Badlands. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a good time. So there won't be a live stream next week. Perhaps we'll catch up next week or in 2 weeks. So we'll do another live stream in 2 weeks. As always, we are Data People. I'm Hipster Viz Ninja. Go forth and viz.